The EZDent Eye Quick Start Video Manual, Chapter 3E, the Viewing tab, including Image Utility Functions. In this video, we plan to utilize the image utility functions to perform the following tasks: View to zoom and pan, Measurement for length, angle, and density, Annotation to draw, text, and shapes, etc., including overlay and reset all. In order to access these image utility functions, navigate the mouse to the top of the screen and left-click on Viewer tab. From here, let's go ahead and search for a patient as well. We'll work with Peggy Brown. Left-click on Search. Verify this is the correct patient, and then double-click. You'll see the patient ID number, patient name, as well as the age displayed in the upper right-hand corner. Underneath our tabs, we have various utility functions that we can then apply to our image. Starting along the left-hand side, we can then left-click on Zoom. We can then position the mouse on top of our workspace, left-click, and then slide our mouse to the right. Obviously, in this case, we've expanded the size of our image outside of the workspace area. In order to see other regions of the anatomy, simply left-click on the panning icon, and then left-click the image itself, move it left and right, up or down, etc. The next task will be performing a measurement. To do that, I'm going to bring up a panorama image. I'm going to left-click and drag it into my workspace. From here, I'll click on the ruler and say I want to measure my occlusal space in between these two teeth. I can left-click once there from the distal edge of that tooth to the mesial edge of this root and obtain my distance. If I want to get my distance, let's say from the ridge to the superior border of the nerve, I can do that as well. As a side note, there is an advanced function where I can right-click on this dimension here and insert an implant. I can choose a 3.7 by 11.5, drop that in place, left-click to adjust it, and you're done. The next tool we'll take a look at will be our free draw. I left-click to activate it, and then simply left-click to draw a line, let's say around this impacted tooth here. And perhaps this tooth needs to be extracted as well. When I'm finished drawing, I simply hit the escape key on the keyboard, and that will then terminate my free draw mode. These same tools are also available within our drop-down menu of options, such as View, where we have the ability to zoom here as well. In this case here, to be able to magnify. So as I do this, I can then left-click and drag it over the image area. I can enlarge this area. I can zoom in down to 120%, and I can zoom in as much as 190 or 200%. I can also click on Enhancement, which gives me a higher contrast view of our anatomy. When you're finished, simply select the X in the upper right-hand corner. We'll continue by performing measurements. In this case here, we want to measure the palatal distance from this root to the root on the other side of the arch. We'll simply left-click and then continue drawing our line through a series of left clicks going all the way across our arch. And then double-click. When you're done with your line, simply hit Escape on your keyboard. Our next function will be to generate an angle. For that, we'll use our lateral cephalometric image to measure the angle of our mandible here. Click on Angle. We'll start near the condyle, click again, and then click again. This will then give us our angle, as you see in the back border of our mandible. The last function in our measurement toolbar is Profile, to measuring bone density. For this, I'll go ahead and bring up my panorama image here. I'll left-click on Profile. In this example here, I'll go from trabecular bone here, through the roots of these teeth, to the trabecular bone as well. And then by left clicking and going across, I can then look at my distance and then identifying the quality of the bone as it relates to those 2 points. Continuing on our toolbar, I'll come down to Annotation and select Text. I can then specify where I want to put a text box. As I bring it down onto the image, when I left click, it will then give me predefined options such as carries. I can also add a custom note by left clicking on Property, type in Impaction, and then left click on OK. And then I can left click to move that on the appropriate tooth. Our next option is to simply draw a line. I click on it to activate it. So if I want to identify my occlusal plane, click there and there, click there and there as well. I can also draw shapes such as a square or a rectangle by clicking on it to activate it, then left click, drag across, let go, and I have my shape. I can do a circle or ellipse, left click, drag across, and let go there as well. Continuing along our toolbar, we'll now go down to Capture and do Capture Region. From here I can define a specific region within this image that I want to capture. I'll left click once there, drag my mouse across, and let go, and then left click on the word Capture. I've now stored a captured image of that cropped out region. To view it, simply click on Patient, double click here, and now here's my cropped image. I can also capture a selected area, such as this window here, left click on Capture, and now duplicated this entire image. In this last example of image capture, let's say I want to capture multiple images from the thumbnail view. I can first come over here and change my layout, perhaps do a pan above and below, a 1:2, left click on OK, and then drag the image above and below. Perhaps use this one over here as well. From here, if I want to grab a snapshot of both images, left click on the icon at the top, left click on Capture, and now I've captured both images simultaneously. At the end of the row of image captures, I have the ability to send all this to a report. When I left click, this will then bring me to the report module. These functions will be covered in a later video tutorial. In the last row under Etc., we have the ability to either hide or show our overlay. To illustrate that, I'm going to reduce my layout to one image. Navigate up to the toolbar, left click on Capture, left click down on Etc., and then left click on Hide Overlay. This is ideal if you want to bring up an image with the patient during a consultation, and then during the consultation identify your region or regions of concern by activating it again. The last option we have under Etc. is our reset. You will receive a warning message advising you that this will remove any annotations, measurements, and so on from this image. Select OK, and your image is back to normal again. This concludes our video tutorial on the image utility function. You should now be able to use the annotation bar to perform the following tasks: view, zoom, and pan for measurement, length, angle, and density; annotation for text, draw, and shapes, etc., including overlay and reset all. Thank you.